Even in this bizarre cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination, there are heroes and villains. So today, we're ranking every character from the Minecraft movie, from good to evil. And the gold medal of good has to go to Natalie, Henry's older sister. Of all the main characters, we had to give her the top spot. She fights against the Piglins and pushes through on their heroic adventure, but we just had to give her extra points for being a great sister who does everything she can for her younger brother after the two of them lost their mom, doing everything she can to keep him safe both in the real world and in this new Minecraft world. Which brings us to the character who gets the silver medal of good.
I'm Steve.
Maybe you could argue that he was just running from his problems, escaping to the Minecraft world, but I guess you can't really blame him.
Don't I know?
And we have to mention his loyalty to his pet wolf, Dennis, is very commendable, as he's willing to do pretty much anything he has to ensure that he's safe. And when these 4 new travelers show up, he immediately saves them and takes them all under his wing, fighting alongside them to protect the overworld and bring down Malgosia and her Piglin army. And he even takes quite a bit of crap from Garrett in the beginning, and still maintains that positive, upbeat attitude.
And that was the only one I had. No biggie.
There's no denying that Steve is a true hero. But despite all his problems, we're actually going to award the Bronze Medal of Good to Garrett Garrison. Yes, the garbage man. And we know what you're thinking. He's arrogant, egotistical, kind of a big jerk. But we're gonna defend him. He's easily the most entertaining character in the movie. His one-liners and ridiculous personality really steal the spotlight, so you can't really help but like him even when he is being a pain in the butt.
Con Dios. It means goodbye, brother.
No, it doesn't.
Don't look at her. It does.
And sure, he's far from the most responsible person. I mean, picking up some kid you literally just met from school without permission for $20 is morally questionable to say the least. And yeah, he derailed the adventure to hunt for diamonds, but can you really blame the guy? He's broke, struggling with a midlife crisis, and as he so brilliantly puts it, he just really needs a win.
Okay.
His actions aren't coming from a place of malice, they're driven by desperation, which makes him oddly relatable. We will give him the Greed Sinner medal though for going after those diamonds. And while Garrett starts off as more of a comedic nuisance, his character arc takes a surprising turn. His ego more than earns him the Pride Sinner medal, he knows it and we know it.
Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison. Gamer of the Year 1989. Whatever. I barely think about it.
Yet, despite his self-absorbed exterior, there's something endearing about his friendship with Henry. It's not the most conventional bond, but it shows that Garrett's not entirely lost to his own self-interest. And his ego is pretty clearly a coping mechanism for all his problems. And then of course, he does try to make the ultimate sacrifice. I mean, the emotional impact here may not have been like a freight train given how goofy this movie is, but there's still something commendable about Garrett's willingness to step up for his friends, even at his own expense. It's a weirdly touching moment and one that shows his character's growth quite a bit, which is why we think he earns the Bronze Medal of Good. Now maybe we're being a little too hard on him, but we're ranking Henry just outside of the top 3. And I'll explain why, but let's start with the good. Henry is a very bright kid who is creative and loves to draw and create things. And he may be one of the more brave ones in the group. But honestly, we have to take a couple points away from him just because of how mad he got at Garrett. And again, Garrett is a pretty big jerk early on, but even after he opens up and explains to Henry why he was desperate for the diamonds, Henry still walks away from him and tells him they aren't friends anymore. And to be honest, despite Garrett's overall attitude, Henry was the one that he was the nicest to out of everybody. I mean, come on dude, give him another chance. He bailed you out of school. We'll rank Dawn next. She's always cheerful and contributes to the group with her own heroics. She's a bit mean to Garrett at times, but honestly Garrett deserves it.
You could say Biocon DS to your body plane's navigation system.
What? Yeah, garbage man isn't speaking English or Espanol.
So we can't hold it against her. She has a good relationship with Natalie and seems to be very sympathetic to her situation, having to look after her younger brother all by herself. And we also have to respect how many side hustles she's willing to work. She fights against the Piglins with the rest of the group, but I guess we rank her here because she seems to be the least fleshed out of the 5 core characters. But let's round out the good section with Dennis. Initially tamed by Steve after he offers a bone to an aggressive wolf, Dennis Dennis quickly becomes Steve's best friend and trusted sidekick. The two share numerous adventures, including a harrowing escape from the Nether, where Dennis helps Steve steal the keys to their cell. Dennis crosses paths with our other characters, helping Steve in more indirect ways. And eventually he's reunited with Steve after being tamed by Dawn and joining her fight against the invading Piglin army. Long story short, Dennis is a good boy. But with the good section wrapped up, let's move into our gray area. And I guess you could say the villagers are the true neutrals of this movie. They're a society of pacifists who don't hurt anybody. According to Steve, they wouldn't hurt anyone unless they've been wronged.
They're total pacifists and vegetarians. You don't bug them, they won't bug you.
And they love bread. What I will say is their fried chicken looks delicious. Seriously, who else's mouth was watering when they saw that cooked chicken? Moving on to Vice Principal Marlene. Honestly, this lady is kind of a disaster. She means well, but she's a little too weird about her relationships at odd times, revealing a bit too much in front of Henry when Garrett picks him up from school. And the thirstiness definitely earns her the Lust Sinner medal. Also, the date she had with the villager was just really weird. Henry's art teacher also has to go here. This guy needs to keep his personal problems to himself when he's teaching kids, and telling Henry he was wrong for being creative with his art shows that this guy is just one of the worst possible art teachers. And I guess we'll throw in all the mobs here as well. I'm not quite sure the morality of a lot of these creatures, but it seems like they're all acting purely on instinct. Even the Enderman, who seems evil, was likely just defending its own property in its mind. And then the zombies, I mean, they are zombies. I don't know if zombies are actually evil, as they likely have no control over their actions. Which brings us to the dark side. These characters are the bad and the evil. And we're gonna start out with the Piglins as a whole, who, as a species, takes the bronze medal of evil. Piglins are basically a society of greedy, power-hungry creatures with a real knack for causing destruction. They've ravaged the Nether for resources and now have their sights set on the overworld, driven by Malgosia's tyrannical rule. While their society is steeped in violence and conquest, there are hints of individuality among them. They're not all mindless killing machines, but they still follow orders without question. In the end, they're victims of a corrupt system, led by Malgosia, but their greed and desire to expand make them a constant threat. Which brings us to the character who gets the silver medal of evil, General Chungus, and yes, that is the character's real name. He is a Piglin general who's just doing his job, and honestly, he'd rather not be. He's given the order to kill Steve, but he's not exactly thrilled about it. He's like a guy at work who does what he's told, but isn't exactly passionate about it. He's calm and sort of kind for a Piglin, and even a little confused about why he has to unalive Steve in the first place. We're gonna give him the Sloth Sinner medal for his general disinterest in his mission. While he's certainly a bad guy, Chungus is more of a victim of bad orders than an evil mastermind. Not like his boss, which brings us to the gold medal of evil winner, Malgosia. Malgosia is the ultimate creativity hater. Think of her as the grumpy boss who bans fun and orders you to focus on getting results. As a Piglin, she hates anything creative, so much so that she killed a young Piglin just for doodling a picture. I mean, look at this cute little pig who drew an adorable picture of a house. She just straight up murdered him on the spot. Absolutely diabolical, and she definitely earns the Wrath Sinner medal, no doubt. Her main goal is to destroy the overworld because it dares to use creativity. She's a power-hungry villain who wants to squash anything that doesn't fit her vision of strict, mindless order. And she even kills another one of her minions, General Chungus, when he fails to do her bidding, proving that loyalty is only as good as your last performance in her eyes. Despite her obsession with power and control, Malgosia isn't exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. After Steve outsmarts her, she repeatedly tries, and fails, to finish him off with a dagger, but her weakness gets the best of her. In the end, she's left to zombify and die, and honestly, she definitely deserved it.